Welcome to the Black Nerd 2.0 show. I'm back. Unless you've been living under a rock, you have to know about the new Ghostbusters trailer. This Ghostbuster is outside of the original film 30 years ago. And instead of having the 4 male characters, you now have 4 female characters. Now this has started a lot of controversy. And this sort of backlash, I've seen it before in films like Star Wars and Mad Max Thunder Road. Here you have a group that's been overrepresented versus a group that thinks they've been underrepresented. And this sort of echoes the presidential race right now. You have minorities that feel they're underrepresented, and you have the overrepresented parts of society that don't want to be underrepresented. And I don't know if art imitates life or life imitates art, but I thought it was interesting how much the presidential race and all this backlash from minorities in movies have in common. And you can add another Hollywood remake to the roster. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of remakes. I think some classics should be just what they are, just classics, and they should be left alone. So I'm not really going to hate on this film because of the gender. I'm just going to hate on the film because it's a remake. Now, while I am going to go see this movie, I'm not going to go in with any preconceived notions. Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, they've been in Bridesmaids together. They have an interesting chemistry. With the chemistry of the original movies, I think it can work in this one.
Because life will play. Yeah? Life is gonna unlife and I'm gonna bite you in the ass.
Now, the original Ghostbusters.
We got one!
The original Ghostbusters was about 3 paranormal psychology professors. They got kicked out of New York University after their grants expired. More like they were terminated. And here you have the original cast. Harold Ramis as Egon Spangler, Dan Aykroyd as Ray Stantz, Bill Murray as Peter Venkman, and Ernie Hudson's character Winston Zeddemore came later. So they lose their grant and a whole bunch of paranormal shit goes down in New York, right up their alley. And with all this paranormal activity going down in New York, they find a way to monetize their special niche. And the original Ghostbusters film has some of the best one-liners.
What are we doing today, Zool?
We must prepare for the coming of Gozer,
Gozer, huh?
the Destructor.
Are we still going out?
Am I the only one that thinks a horny, possessed Sigourney Weaver is hot? You have Bill Murray from Saturday Night Live, Harold Ramis. I know Harold Ramis. He did some voice work in a movie called Heavy Metal. It's a old 80s or 70s cartoon based off a Canadian magazine. Maybe I'll do a video about Heavy Metal, the cartoon and the magazine. You got Dan Aykroyd from Saturday Night Live. You got Annie Potts from Designing Women. I used to watch that with my grandma. Ghostbusters is a classic. There's just simply some comedic genius going on there at work. What made the original Ghostbusters dope was chemistry. You can almost tell that these actors had a really good time making this film. Some of these actors have played off of each other before, like Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray, because of their history together in Saturday Night Live. You got the scene with Rick Moranis.
Ted, Annette! Hey, glad you could come. How you doing? Give me your coats. Everybody, this is Ted and Annette Fleming.
How are you?
Ted has a small carpet cleaning business in receivership. Annette's drawing a salary from a deferred bonus from 2 years ago. They got $15,000 left on the house at 8%. So they're okay. So, does anybody want to play Parcheesi? Okay, who brought the dog?
Did you know he totally freestyled that scene? It's a classic, and I understand why people don't want it being remade. To throw the cherry on top, you make it an all-female lead. It's like a big stomp on the face to some of these people. I don't think we should hate on the movie before the movie comes out, and I really don't think we should hate the movie because there's an all-female lead. If it sucks, we can drop little bombs on social media filled with evil memes. So you go on to the new Ghostbusters.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh,
Did you want to? Sorry, I'll let you.
Next time. Okay.
Someone is creating a device that amplifies paranormal activity. And we might be the only ones who can stop it.
Holtzman, come on.
The hat is too much, right?
You got Kate McKinnon as Jillian Holtzman, Kristen Wiig as Erin Gilbert, Melissa McCarthy as Abby Gates, and you got Leslie Jones as Patty Tolan. Even the addition of Leslie Jones to the cast has been controversial. Some people think it's biased that you have the three white girls, and they're obviously all doctors.
Holtzman, you're a brilliant engineer.
Erin, no one's better at quantum physics than you.
And you have the black girl who's added to the group, and she's a subway lady.
I'm joining the club. You guys are really smart about this science stuff, but I know New York. And I can borrow a car from my uncle.
And I get that argument too, but Winston Zeddemore wasn't a doctor either. We don't necessarily know what Leslie Jones is going to be in the film, what her background is. Wait and see the film. People need to remember that inclusion doesn't necessarily mean exclusion. There's enough room for everybody in Hollywood to get a little shine. Yes, I acknowledge that some people are certainly marginalized. Changing the status quo doesn't mean that other people will get left out. Anyways, I'm a big fan of Comic Book Girl 19. Check her channel out. It's very dope. She thinks the movie's gonna be trash. She thinks you can't just keep making remakes. Conan the Barbarian, and if we go see it, we're telling the Hollywood companies to keep making these horrible remakes. Total Recall, and I totally agree with her. Ninja Turtles, most of the time. And while normally I agree with Comic Book Girl 19's opinion, I just have a gut feeling that this movie will be great. They did spend $154 million on this movie, and not that that necessarily has anything to do with, you know, the quality of a film. Look at movies like Gods of Egypt. But I do think with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, you know, hanging around, because they are in the credits. I looked on IMDb, and also they are in the credits, but there isn't any names to the characters that they're playing. So we also don't know that this movie doesn't exist within the same universe as the original Ghostbusters, because they haven't said it. So it could be this big hoax, and it could be just, you know, they could pass the reins down. It could exist in the same universe, and that would be awesome. So maybe there's a little secret prize in the box for us when we go see this movie at the box office. Another thing I liked about the trailer were the gadgets. You saw these different variations on the proton pack. Oh, it's been a long time. Kristen Wiig had some revolvers. Melissa McCarthy had a proton pack, and it looked like brass knuckles. So that was totally sweet. But anyway, I disagree with the naysayers on this one. Normally, I'd hop on the truck. I do believe this will be a great film. I don't know why. Well, thank you for watching the Black Nerd 2.0 show. I'm out. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Oh, hell no. The devil is a liar. Get out of